Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Wednesday morning, May the 3rd. It continues to be unusually cold for this time of the year across the Great Lakes, the Midwest, the Mid-Atlantic, the Northeast U.S. A deep upper-level low continues to sit and spin over the northeastern quadrant of the nation, not only well below normal temperatures, but unsettled conditions as well, with scattered showers and perhaps even some rumbles of thunder later today, even all the way down into the I-95 corridor region, as the lapse rates will really steepen significantly later on today, as that upper level low actually moves a little bit to the south and east, right over the I-95 corridor region, the region between D.C., Philadelphia, and New York City later today. So this could turn out to be the most unstable day in the atmosphere over the I-95 corridor region, again with those scattered rain showers and maybe a rumble of thunder or two, and many spots, especially the higher elevation locations of the interior Mid-Atlantic, Northeast U.S., certainly over the Great Lakes, can see some ice pellets, maybe some small hail or grapple, which is kind of partially melted snow, in with this convective activity that potentially develops on later in the day. Speaking of snow, and again, there can be some snowflakes today, especially over the eastern Great Lakes, but even in those higher elevation locations of the Northeast U.S. This is a report from the Marquette, Michigan National Weather Service as of late yesterday. And that wasn't the end of the story in terms of snow, but a very impressive snowfall for the early part of May in that part of the nation. Look at all these record breakers. Greatest two-day snowfall in May, 26.2 inches. Certainly making May, this May, the snowiest one on record already so far. And the greatest snow depth this late in the winter season. This is the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Very, very impressive cold wave for the first week of May over the northeastern quadrant of the nation. Well, let's take a look at WSI's and telecast.com in terms of the radar loop across the nation. Two areas of interest here I want to emphasize. First of all, the spinning in the atmosphere of the upper level low continues to cause kind of a spinning in the spinning in the radar reflectivities this morning, with blue representing those areas where they're seeing some snowflakes. And again, upper part of peninsula, right in this area right here, had a couple of feet of snow. Very unusual for this time of the season, winter season, spring season, early part of May. And again, very unstable atmosphere today, the Mid-Atlantic region, the Northeast U.S. That upper level low actually makes kind of a move today, drops to the south and east, puts it right over the I-95 corridor region midday, afternoon, and that could lead to the most unstable atmosphere that we've experienced in this 2, 3, 4 day cold spell in the northeastern part of the nation. So possibility even of rumbles of thunder, small hail, even some snowflakes mixed in, especially as higher elevations of the interior Mid-Atlantic, Northeast U.S. Another area of interest, look at this precipitation here in California and just off the west coast. There's yet another storm moving into California. Could spread rain, very likely to spread rain all the way down the coast, L.A., San Diego, over the next 12 to 24 hours or so, and certainly more snow for the Sierra Nevada mountains of eastern California, on top of the already record-breaking snowpack seen this winter season, going into the spring now, of course. So there were some areas that experienced tremendous snow, such as the Sierra Nevada of California. The places in the upper part of the Midwest had some significant snow, and continuing still the upper peninsula of Michigan, but Minnesota, many areas there had a record snowfall for this past winter season. Meanwhile, the I-95 corridor region, very little, if any, snow in that D.C. to Philadelphia to New York City corridor. Even up to Boston, they were below normal in terms of snowfall as well. Well, let's walk through last night's operational run of the GFS model. Again, this is the 0Z GFS model. We're looking at 500 millibar height anomalies as we begin the day here on Wednesday. And here we go, that deep upper level low kind of shifted a little bit in the past 12 hours or so to the south and east, now centered right over the interior Mid-Atlantic region. Very unstable atmosphere. Any kind of early day heating, lower part of the atmosphere will really tend to steepen that lapse rate, could even result in some convective activity with such a low freezing level that any kind of thunderstorm activity certainly can produce some small hail, even into the I-95 corridor region. Could be some partially melted snowflakes, snow pellets, for example. A very unstable air mass and atmosphere with this unusual chill for the early part of May. Look at here, out over the eastern Pacific Ocean, another upper level low. This is getting pretty late into the spring season to see these kind of features impacting California into the month of May. Now, let's push forward here. Again, this drops a little bit to the south and east, moving right over D.C., Philadelphia, New York City later on today. That's why, again, today could be the most unstable day in the atmosphere during this cold spell here. Watch out for numerous showers, maybe a rumble of thunder, certainly ice pellets, hail, maybe even some snowflakes can be mixed in this part of the nation over the next 6 to 12 hours or so. This system does impact Southern California over the next 12 to 24 hours or so. Rain can sneak down the coast all the way into LA and San Diego over the next day or so. And finally, system in the northeastern U.S. will kind of relax its grip on that part of the nation. By the time we get to Friday, it'll start to turn quieter, milder. Places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, it's really shaping up to be a nice weekend in the Mid-Atlantic region, the northeast U.S. after several days of below normal temperatures. It looks quiet. It looks sunny. Saturday and Sunday with increasing warmth back to near normal by the latter part of the upcoming weekend. Again, a very nice weekend shaping up. And here's that system over California as of Friday. And we'll move into the upcoming weekend. And here's some ridge popping up over the middle part of the nation. And believe me, the Great Lakes need some warming up, need some drying out here. And again, it should turn out to be quite a nice weekend indeed over the Mid-Atlantic region. We'll go all the way into the early part of next week. Nice weather basically Saturday, Sunday, Monday, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, all of the Mid-Atlantic region, northeast U.S. California system kind of weakens as it crosses over into the Rocky Mountain state region of the nation. Well, here are those temperature anomalies at 850 millibars. Just unbelievable cold for this time of the year over the Midwest and over California here. California just has had a very chilly spring that followed a very chilly winter, again with historic type snowfall over those higher elevations of eastern California. It'll take a couple more days for this chill in the east to relax, to kind of modify here. We are all the way into Friday, still below normal temperatures, hanging on Mid-Atlantic region, northeast U.S., even though by that time we'll get more and more in the way of sunshine. Still kind of on the cool side Friday. And look at California, especially Southern California, just well below normal temperatures for this time of the year. And then we go into the upcoming weekend, hanging on with some chill as we begin the weekend, but in the Mid-Atlantic region. But sunshine will boost temperatures to 70 degrees, certainly in the I-95 corridor region over the upcoming weekend. Still remaining quite chilly here over Southern California. We go through the upcoming weekend and notice this ridge popping up and warmer than normal conditions across the central part of the nation. It's a little worrisome the way I see things shaping up next week. We'll have to keep an eye on this as we have some warm conditions over the middle part of the nation. There'll be some colder air here pushing in by the time we get to the middle of next week. We'll have to see if we get kind of a clash in the atmosphere again with colder air from the north and west and milder, more humid air to the east. We'll have to watch for the possibility of severe weather somewhere over the middle of the nation or even the Rocky Mountain states, the middle or latter part of next week. And yet another chilly air mass relative to normal can push into the northeastern quadrant of the nation later next week. Now, in terms of precipitation, notice we start off dry here in the I-95 corridor region, but you go a little bit ahead in time here, and early morning daytime heating over the initial hours in the morning, the midday hours here in the I-95 corridor region will destabilize the lower atmosphere, and by midday, certainly numerous showers throughout the Mid-Atlantic region, the northeast U.S., and maybe even a rumble of thunder, as well as that upper level low really moves right overhead midday and afternoon. It could be some small hail mixed in, maybe even some snowflakes in portions of the Mid-Atlantic northeast U.S. And here's the California system. It really is a slow mover, and eventually it hangs on long enough to produce some rain all the way into L.A. by tomorrow, and all the way down the coastline into northwestern part of Baja California and Mexico, and all the way down into San Diego. Finally, a little bit of a relaxation in conditions on Thursday, and certainly some improvement by the time we get to Friday over the Mid-Atlantic region, but especially over the upcoming weekend. The California system pushes into the middle part of the nation by the weekend, and here we go by Saturday. High pressure over Canada. Looks like it'll control the weather all the way down to the Mid-Atlantic region. Not excessively warm by any means, but certainly compared to what we're experiencing today in the last few days in the Mid-Atlantic region northeast, it'll turn out to be a nice weekend indeed, with nice weather. And Saturday, Sunday, even into Monday, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, California will dry out after this next system impacts them over the next day or two. Well, just wanted to wrap up with two plots excuse me, here from the 0Z run of the GFS. This is the total liquid equivalent precipitation over the next 5 days between this morning, Wednesday morning, and Monday morning. Here's that rainfall down along the coastal sections of California over the next 5 days. This is primarily occurring over the next day or two, but even all the way down into San Diego, notice some rain and even some higher amounts over those Sierra and Nevada mountains. Not a lot of liquid equivalent precipitation over the northeast U.S., but it's certainly persistent, as has been the case on Monday and Tuesday and today as well. Numerous showers, especially in those higher elevation locations, and some of this, of course, will fall as ice or snow in those higher elevation locations. A decent rainfall amount here over the south central states over the next 5 days. Well, let's wrap up with the snowfall forecast map from the 0Z run of the GFS for the next 5 days between this morning and next Monday morning. Now look at this, more substantial snowfall over the Sierra Nevada here of eastern California, already at record-breaking levels here as we go through now the early part of the month of May. Skiing still in good condition here across many of the Rocky Mountain states, with more snow over the next 5 days. And look at this. This is from this current setup here in the Mid-Atlantic region. Those higher elevations of West Virginia, western Pennsylvania, even upstate New York, certainly can see some accumulating snow over the next day or two, with this unusual chill for early May continuing in the northeastern quadrant of the nation. That's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, this has been meteorologist Paul Dorian.